I have the good fortune of being in this moment in history when something is happening that very rarely happens in human history, and that is that this great culture, this Buddhist culture, is coming into the West. It's a meeting of these two forces that have been thousands of years in the making. That possibility that two of the world's great traditions could come together and create something remarkable, that just doesn't come along very often.
The Tibetan people are inheritors of a spiritual tradition with roots that stretch back more than 2,500 years to the time of the Buddha. After the communist invasion of 1959, they witnessed the loss of their monasteries, the disintegration of their ancient way of life, and the destruction of their sacred books, the largest collection of Buddhist texts ever compiled by a single culture. What does it take to keep a knowledge tradition alive? It takes extraordinary personal commitment that is renewed with each generation. Without this effort, even the most precious human knowledge will disappear.
In 1959, with the wholesale destruction of the colleges, monasteries, and libraries in Tibet, all the books were pretty much destroyed.
Over 80,000 Tibetans would flee into exile, making their way across the Himalayas. Many of them settled in India.
It was an incredibly confusing period of great despair, and many of the older people simply were not physically, emotionally strong enough to survive the change in the climate, the change in the food, the change in the altitude, and people succumbed to diseases and also maybe just to pure, simple despair at having lost everything of value to them.
Even as they struggled to survive, the great masters in exile had begun working to save their text tradition. But conditions were difficult and little could be accomplished. Facing the imminent destruction of his culture, one young Tibetan Lama became determined to rescue, preserve, and print this immense and fragile collection of sacred texts. For more than 50 years, Tartang Tulku would dedicate his life to this vision.
If this teachings that Tibet preserved are lost, it's not just the loss of somebody's culture, it's the loss of this light of liberation for the whole world.
심진게 돈 저지디 쪼te 송나 때는 제 고고리 대남진 산제랑게 납자 뒤지 타말랑아니 얘기 적소니 나의 삼는 못 받지 송아리